DeFi, as you all know, is very, very volatile, right? Like there are no circuit breakers in DeFi. If prices go down by 10%, there isn't like, well, let's stop and rethink it, okay? So that means that the prices in crypto, the prices in DeFi are very volatile. And the concept of like, panic selling and everything like around that you really want your transaction and get out of position really fast happens. It happens all the time. And it matters. Like this is whether you actually get out before everything crashes by 15% or don't, or if everything goes up by 20%. This means whether you made it before it happened or not. But if you recall, if we talked about that these transactions propagate in the network and then being added to blocks, in this situation, when the market is very volatile, then we're actually seeing that the network gets very, very congested. All of a sudden, the market is starting to crash. Everybody try to get out of position. Okay, everybody are trying to panic sell. Transactions are, filling the network. They don't get mined. They don't even get to the miners and the pools. There are just too many transactions out there. Even there are some malicious actors out there. If you want to get out of position, you send your transaction and you spam everybody else. You send transactions which slow down everybody else so they don't compete with you while you try to get out of position. And so this is something, again, if we're trying to think how DeFi is different than CeFi, yes, in CeFi exchanges will be congested and loaded, etc., but in a different way, not in a manner that the network itself is congested and your transaction doesn't go through. And so in order to try to help people with that, as I mentioned earlier, the reason we're fast is because we're directly connected to all the miners and all the validators. So if you're out transaction through us, you actually avoid the lines. Kind of like it's going to reach them directly. Maybe you'll have to pay high fee to get in the next block. Maybe you'll still have to be competitive, but you won't get stuck outside without being able to play. And so these are the three properties which I wanted to kind of like touch upon in this presentation, how DeFi is different from CeFi, about how speed matters, about front running and how everybody else can see your transactions when you're out there, and how congestion affects and like how you really need an execution infrastructure which allows you to execute even when things are very, very volatile.